Namaskar. This is Namaskar. Welcome. This is Dada Rainjitananda, and we are back to our Tantra, the Science of Realization course. As usual, you can put your questions using the questions windows, and you can also communicate with me using that window. Okay, so let's get started. I will get started with a review of what we have seen so far. So the first thing we talked about is that we are beginning on this spiritual path, and the beginning is the initiation. And we talked about the Vedic initiation, and we talked about Tantric initiation. And as we proceed, I will also be asking you some questions. Let's see, what is the first question here? Okay. We also have seen that there are two parts or two components for Tantric initiation. Diksha. D is related to the light that illuminates the path, and it gives us the direction where to move to. And the other one is Ksha. Ksha has to do with exhausting exhausting the samskaras, or accelerating the speed that our samskaras get exhausted. The samskaras are the reactions that we have accumulated from all the actions that we have done in our existence. As we eliminate quickly these reactions, life can seem to be a little bit accelerated. So those are the two components of Diksha. And I will ask you a question here. So you have a question there. I will wait a little bit until more people give their answers. Okay, let's see. So my question is if you have experienced an acceleration of your samskaras after initiation. And I share the results with you. 67% of you have experienced yes, 33% maybe, and 0% no, I didn't notice. So it seems that most of you have experienced that some change after learning the meditation, after starting practicing meditation. And that is a symptom that the meditation is working. What happens is like this. Most people think that when we start meditating, life is going to be so peaceful, everything is going to be so perfect and nice. But what happens is that as we meditate, our capacity increases, but at the same time, the speed of samskaras increase. So we experience a lot of movement, a lot of things happening, and it might sometimes seem to be overwhelming, but if we keep with the practice, it will never become overwhelming. It may reach a limit, but it doesn't go over that. I like to hear this quote from my teacher, and he said that our capacity will always be greater than the obstacles. That means that obstacles will never be greater than our capacity to overcome them. Okay, so another thing we talked about the teacher or the guru, how to find the guru, and the importance of the guru. So how to find it if our desire is very strong? Somehow, for some coincidence or for some situation, we come in contact with the guru. It all depends on our desire. If our desire is very sincere, genuine, and deep, we'll come in contact with the right guru. And if our desire is more a little bit material, we'll come in contact with somebody on that line. So according to our deep desire, we come in contact with the right teacher. So I put another question to you. So you have a second question there. Okay, almost everybody is okay. Let's see this one. I will close here and I share the results. Okay, this one is is 50-50, yes and maybe. So the question is, if you have experienced that it was your strong desire that brought you to the guru, or so 50% says yes, 50% says maybe. Okay, so you can hide this one and we can move ahead. And also I gave an explanation about what the word Tantra. Tan means expansion, Tra means to liberate, or Ta means staticity, hesitation, like we want to do something but we don't do it. So that kind of staticity, to liberate from that, is Tantra. So Tantra makes us overcome difficulties and move forward. It gives dynamicity. Then we went into philosophy, and I presented these 6 points of our philosophy, adding 2 points, spiritual practice and psychology, to the regular points of philosophy. Then we went over all the points, at least we talked a little bit about them. We mentioned that in ontology, there is this idea that everything is one. Everything is consciousness. Then we talked about what human beings really want, Ananda, and that Ananda is infinite, like some infinite happiness. And it coincides with Brahma. Brahma is also infinite. It's Brahma and Ananda coincide. We also talked that Brahma has these 2, let's say, parts, we can say. One is consciousness and the other one is energy, or one is cognition and the other is operative principle. Then we talked that according to the expression of the operative principle, how it affects the consciousness, Then we have Brahma in different stages, Nirguna, Saguna, and Taraka Brahma. And we also mentioned that Taraka Brahma is the Guru. And we went into the cycle of creation, the Brahma Chakra, that from consciousness comes mind, from mind, the 5 fundamental factors. Then from matter, solid, comes again mind, and that mind develops, taking different bodies, reaching the human and attaining. And okay, so we mentioned about mind and matter. And in epistemology, we talk about knowledge, 2 kinds of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, paravidya, and knowledge of the world, aparavidya, and both have its importance. And finally, we talked about the mind. Now, I will ask you a few questions about the mind. Let's see here. I have one more question. This question is, okay, there it goes. Choose the correct answer. Or choose the answers that are correct. There is more than one correct there. So you can click on more than one. I give you a little bit more time. I will give you a hint according to my... Okay, everybody, let me close it and let me share here. The ones that are correct. So mind is the composite of Chittaham and Mahat. That's correct. The next one, mind have 4 mental states. That one is also correct. And the other one, mind can be divided in conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. This is also correct. There are 5 layers of mind. That's also correct. And the last one is the one that is wrong. There are tamatras of sound, touch, form, and the last one is wrong. It should be smell. Let me see if I can open this one. Just a moment. Okay. So actually, is the last statement that is wrong. Okay. Let me go ahead. Okay, let me go to the presentation of today. Is Tantra, the Science of Realization, number 4. I put this figure here just as we can review it. So, Saguna Brahma, under the influence of Prakriti, Prakriti starts exerting influence, and therefore the sentient influence on Purusha or consciousness creates the first wave, and that is the beginning of the mind. It's like Brahma's mind, or the cosmic mind, starts, and that's the Mahat, is the I, the cosmic I, the Mahat. And then Prakriti is exerting more influence, putting consciousness more in bondage, and that comes Aham. And more bondage comes Chitta, then the five fundamental factors. Then comes to the solid. Pressure continues. A part of that structure becomes more subtle. It kind of breaks down, okay, and it becomes mind. So it starts the unit beings with different minds, and then it gets developed into plants, animals, humans. Humans do sadhana, meditation, back to Brahma. In this side here, Sanchara, there is an increase in the bondage of Prakriti, and in this Pratisanchara, there is a decrease in the bondage of Prakriti. So these human beings come to the point where we start doing spiritual practice. Sadhana. The first part of sadhana, we want to take help of the centripetal force and move towards the nucleus. The nucleus is Purushottama, is also called Ishvara. So the first lesson will be called Ishvara Pranidhana. It means we are removing the mind from all other things and concentrating on Ishvara. Now back to this one. We are moving in this direction. So now human beings want to get back to Brahma. So how to do that? As here, we are human beings and living in this creation, in this universe. So the first part we want to do is we want to withdraw the mind from the external world. To withdraw the mind from the external world is what is called Bhuta Shuddhi. So Bhuta Shuddhi is like, now we are seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, feeling the external world. We need to withdraw. So that's the first step of meditation. We go within. So there is nothing more outside. Everything disappears, ceases to exist, doesn't exist anymore. So we are sitting in the position of meditation, closing our eyes. So that's part of the withdrawal. And then we are using a process of concentration, visualization, to forget about the external world. So now, in the situation of the Bhuta Shuddhi, you are sitting there and there is nothing outside. All the external physical is not there. Then you go to the second step, is the Asana Shuddhi. Now you want to withdraw from your internal physical. Now what is that? In our physical body, the 5 chakras are the controlling point of the 5 fundamental factors. So now, through concentration on the various chakras, means we are going to bring our concentration from the lowest chakra to the highest chakra. So it will be like from solid, controlling the solid factor, then we withdraw from the solid factor, then withdraw from the liquid factor, then we withdraw from the luminous factor, withdraw from the aerial factor, withdraw from the ethereal factor. Now we come to mind. That is the asana shuddhi. When we come to mind, now we have to put our mind concentrated in a point. And that's when we look for the Ishta chakra. So different individuals will have different Ishta chakras because it will be easier for that individual to keep the mind in that chakra. So it doesn't, if one has one Ishta chakra or another, if one, let's say one has Ishta chakra in the Agya chakra, another one has in the Vishuddha chakra, it does not mean that somebody is more developed than somebody else. It just means that concentrating on that chakra helps that particular individual to keep the mind without moving to other points. So it is easier for that particular individual to keep the mind in that point than to keep in another point. So that's the Ishta chakra is given. So one learns the Ishta chakra, the point of concentration. So the asana shuddhi will take us to the Ishta chakra, to one point. And we will be withdrawing from the different fundamental factors. So now we are in mind, and the most external layer of the mind is chitta. So next, we have also to go beyond the chitta. We have to withdraw from the chitta. That's the chitta shuddhi. So there is also a process of chitta shuddhi. It means our mind is in that point. Now we have to, the chitta is more related to the external. So now we have to go to the internal. What is more inside us is that infinite consciousness. So now we make an effort not to think about the outside, but to think that within us is that infinite supreme consciousness. So now we are just a point in the middle of that infinite. So that is the chitta shuddhi. We are not anymore connected to anything external, not to the fundamental factors. Now we are trying to connect with that infinite entity. So in the moment we do the chitta shuddhi, it's like taking our mind to the aham. So now we are taking our mind to the aham. In that moment, we have to take the aham to the mahat. So to take the aham to the mahat, we will use mantra, Ishta mantra, the mantra that will take us towards the goal. So applying the Ishta mantra, so aham is the I do part. So I do now is meditating. What is the meditation? Is thinking that I am something beyond. I am that. I am not this small one. I am that great one. when we are able to feel only that pure feeling of I, that's the Mahat. And the moment the Aham gets merged into Mahat, then the individual Mahat merges into the cosmic Mahat, because there is nothing limiting it anymore. It is the Aham that was limiting the Mahat. But in the moment that the Aham merges back into the Mahat, then there is nothing limiting this Mahat. It merges with the cosmic Mahat, and that is the Savikalpa Samadhi. It's a very elevated state. It's like merging into Saguna Brahma. Okay, there is one question here. Let me see. Doesn't Prakriti exert control when we do deep meditation? Okay. What happens when we do deep meditation? We are concentrating on consciousness. So consciousness has more effect at that moment. Then Prakriti reduces its bondage. The more expression of consciousness, the less bondage of Prakriti. I have one figure here. Okay, I will jump this one. Okay, this figure here, I will make an effort to make the whole cycle. Okay, so take a look. Brahma, Purusha, comes under the bondage of Prakriti. The sentient guna of Prakriti exerts pressure over consciousness. It starts the mind. Sattva guna influence creates the Mahat. Raja guna, the second guna of Prakriti, creates the Aham. Then Tamaguna creates Chitta. More pressure, more bondage, 5 fundamental factors are created, up to down to the solid. Maximum pressure, maximum bondage of Prakriti. Continue its pressure in the structure, in the solid structure. A certain portion of the solid gets like pulverized. It means it becomes subtle, because there is so much pressure. Only 2 things can happen. Either the whole thing explodes, or part of it becomes subtle. So that part is unit mind. So unit mind gets created. Okay? So now, in the returning phase, a human being is doing sadhana. When a human being is doing sadhana, so what we are doing in the sadhana process, we bring the mind inside, means not anymore in the external world. Now it came to the point that we are within. So we are bringing it from the solid factor to the liquid factor. So controlling the solid factor, withdraw. Liquid factor, withdraw. Luminous factor, withdraw. Aerial factor, withdraw. Ethereal factor, withdraw. So in the second part of the meditation, we are withdrawing from the different factors. Then withdraw from the ethereal factor. So the ethereal factor is in the 5th chakra. So we bring the mind up. So now we bring the mind to the Agya chakra or Trikuti. So it means we here withdraw from all the fundamental factors. Having withdrawn from all the fundamental factors, we come to the point that there is only chitta. Then we do chitta shuddhi, withdraw from chitta to aham. Now we start with the mantra. So doing means I do, means aham. Aham is meditating to come to mahat. Mahat, the moment aham withdraws into mahat or merges into mahat, then we experience the pure I feeling, and the unit I and the cosmic I become one. And that is the Savikalpa Samadhi. So what I did here is I put here is the cosmic movement, sanchara, and here is how human being is through sadhana getting back to Brahma. Okay. And that is the Ishvara Pranidhana. That's the science of Ishvara Pranidhana. It's a very methodical practice. So when we do the practice, it is very important that we go through all the steps. Many people rush to the mantra, but rushing to the mantra, let me bring back the figure. Rushing to the mantra and not withdrawing from the five fundamental factors will have lots of difficulties to concentrate in the mantra. So that's why doing all the parts very slowly, very methodically will get more results. Okay, have another. Is mind different from chitta? Okay, chitta is one of the chambers of the mind. So the mind has three chambers here in the figure. Mind has chitta, aham, and mahat. This chamber here, chitta, is the chamber that is more external, is the one that is connected to the world, to the expression. The aham is the chamber that has the capacity to do things. And the mahat is the chamber that is the I, pure I. It's just I am. So I am, I do, and the done I. Let me try to give you an idea. For example, suppose it is early morning, I was in deep sleep, and I'm waking up. So when I wake up from deep sleep, the first thing is I kind of become conscious of I. Then I start thinking that I have to do something. And then I start doing and thinking what I have to do. So the first part is the mahat. It's just the I. Now I'm conscious of I am. And then I start, I have to do, I have to do, I have to do. Then that is the I do, aham. And then I start doing and thoughts start coming, that's chitta. Okay, so these are three, let's say, chambers of the mind. Okay, back here. So I presented a little bit a theory behind the Ishvara Pranidhana, or the relation between Brahma Chakra and Ishvara Pranidhana. You have the philosophy, you have the practice, you have Brahma Chakra, you have Ishvara Pranidhana. Okay, so that is the first lesson of the sadhana. So a very systematic lesson how to reach to Brahma. But in this case here, I mentioned is we are reaching to Saguna Brahma, Savikalpa Samadhi. Okay. Practices. Spiritual practices. Spiritual practices should actually be what we do in the 24 hours of our life, 365 days. It means the whole life, every moment, we are doing some spiritual practice. And the spiritual practice is very much related also to ideation. And ideation, there are things that help ideation, and there are things that are obstacles to ideation. So now we start the spiritual practice when the first thought of the day. Some people wake up very like Monday, no. It means that creates a certain vibration in the mind. We have to wake up in a very positive way. Not only in a positive way, we have to wake up in a very spiritual way. Now, in a very spiritual way means I should think of something very spiritual. Something very spiritual, Brahma. So think of Brahma. Mantra, think of mantra. But sometimes it is very abstract to think of Brahma. Especially Nirguna Brahma, very abstract. Saguna Brahma, very abstract. One technique that is in Tantra there is Taraka Brahma. So Taraka Brahma is the Guru. There is an expression of Brahma that is very personal, that comes in contact with human beings. So there is a technique in Tantra to think of the Guru first thing in the morning. Why? Because when you think of somebody that is spiritual, it transmits spiritual vibration. If I think of somebody who is an angry person, I will get a vibration of anger. If I think of somebody who is very peaceful, I will get a vibration of peace. If I think of somebody who is very spiritual, I will get a vibration of spirituality. Now, for meditators, the teacher is the person they know, or we know, that is most spiritual. So there is this idea, think about the teacher. But there is a special way to do it, which is described in this mantra. So this mantra is, in Sanskrit, Prata Shirasi Shuklebje Dvinetram Dvibhujam Gurum Varabhaya Kritahastam Smaritam Nama Purvakam. Meaning, Prata means very early. Shirasi means in the head. So it means you are going to think about the Guru very early morning, and the position of the Guru is in a chakra situated in the top of your head. Is just a little bit below the Sahasrara chakra. Sahasrara chakra is the one on the top of the head. A little bit below is another chakra. It's called the Guru chakra. So you are thinking about the Guru in that chakra. Shuklebje, there is a lotus, a white lotus flower. And the Guru is sitting on that lotus, And Dvinetram, his two eyes, Dvibhujam, the two hands. So as it's like he's seeing you with his two eyes, and you're also seeing his two hands, and they are in which position? Varabhaya is the one in the figure. One hand is up, another hand is down. Varabhaya. Kritahastam. And then Smaretam Nama Purvakam. Remember, now you remember his holy name. So the name or the mantra. So that is, this mantra describes the practice. You can, if you recite it, knowing the meaning 3 times, and then you continue for as long as you can with the figure of the Guru in the position, feeling that he can see you, and you also addressing him by his name. And that is a good first thought. Deeply spiritual, not so difficult, very effective, can change our life if we do it very regularly. Okay. I will ask you one more question. Okay, there goes one question for you. I wait a little bit more. I want more people to vote. We are now in 50%, so let's see some more people. Okay, it's moving. Almost. Okay, I think I will close now. I didn't get everybody, but it's okay. Share the results. So what is the original raw material of the universe? What is the universe? What is everything made of? Atoms, electrons, protons. It's true, but we are looking for something deeper. It's like I can say, oh, this is flesh and this is a cloth. So my hand is made of flesh, my clothes are made of textiles. But if I go deeper, I see atoms and electrons. Then I go deeper, it's made of the 5 fundamental factors. Yes, okay, but there is something, I want to go even deeper than that. So now I come to here, 2 choices are here left. One is it the raw material, is it Purusha or is it Prakriti? So let's understand how it works. Prakriti is the operative principle of consciousness, of Purusha. So what happens is, Purusha, everything is Purusha, everything is consciousness, and Prakriti is a principle of Purusha. And what Prakriti does is it changes the shape of Purusha. So the raw material is Purusha. Prakriti is only changing Purusha into different shapes. So what is being changed is consciousness. So everything is consciousness, and consciousness gets changed. It's like I have a substance, and that substance in it has the capacity to change. So that is Purusha, and there is Prakriti, which is the capacity to change it. So Prakriti is changing it, but is changing what? The consciousness. So everything is consciousness. So the correct answer here would be Purusha or cosmic consciousness. Okay, so I hide this one, and I see here. In the mudra, in the mudra, the right hand is in this position. The left hand is like this. So the right hand is basically telling, don't fear, move ahead. And the left hand is giving blessings. So that is the both are a blessing, but the right one is to removing the fear. The left one is giving the blessings. Go ahead. Yeah. All right. That was for the Gurusaka'sha, which I like to call it the first thought. So the first thought, I also give the first movement. The first thought activates the mind. The first movement activates the physical body. For that, I like this mudra. It's called the Utkshepa mudra. How is this mudra? Okay, first one is lying down in the bed. Okay, you can sit in your bed and do the first thought, which is the Gurusaka'sha. After you have done that for some time, you lie down again. Then you flex the legs and arms towards the chest. It's like you hold the legs towards the chest and immediately extend it. Hold it and extend it. Hold it and extend it. As far as breathing is concerned, you can breathe in and out, but it's not exactly like an asana. When you are doing the asana, you are breathing very slowly and go into the position, and then you breathe in also slowly. In this is a mudra. It's a little bit more like a quick, more effort. So you see in the figure, you're lying down, and then you are flexing, lying down, and then flexing again. So when you return to the position, you do it immediately. It means you extend and then flex, extend and flex. You can do it 3 or 4 times. So that stimulates very well the body. Then sit down and drink a glass of water without letting the water touch the teeth. So you're just drinking like that. That creates a lot of movement in the whole system. Then you expose the navel area to the air, and you can walk around, means you stand up and walk around, letting fresh air touch the navel area, which controls the heat in the body. This mudra stimulates the whole physical body, all the systems: circulatory system, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system, lymphatic system, and so on. It's a very good mudra to stimulate the body. Okay, let me hide this one. Yeah, it was covering. Okay. I can, let me see. Maybe you missed one of the pictures. Yeah, you missed the pictures of the mudra. Sorry for that. I will show again. This is the Utkapa mudra. I'm showing the pictures. First, the person is lying down and then flexing the legs towards the chest, holding like the figure. You see one figure, you are lying down. The other one, you are bringing the arms and legs towards the chest. Then extend again. Then bring again. It's done quickly, not like asana. No, last asana is slow. This is done quickly. Do this 3 or 4 times. Then you will sit down. Then drink the water like with the glass up, letting the water go. So it creates a lot of movement in the larynge and all the system that stimulates the digestive system. Then expose the navel area to the air, walk around, let some fresh air touch the navel area. That's the controlling point of the heat in the body. And as I mentioned, this mudra will stimulate the whole body: circulatory system, respiratory, digestive, excretory, lymphatic, and all other systems of the body. Okay. Yeah, I know you were not seeing the pictures. Okay. All right. So I hope now the second time you could see. Yeah. And I go to a summary. Today, I did a review. I talked about the Brahmachakra, the cycle, and the Ishvara Pranidhana, the sadhana, to come out from the cycle, the science of Ishvara Pranidhana. And I presented this Utkapa Mudra. And I presented also the Gurusaka'sha, the first thought and the first movement. Questions? If there is any questions. There were some questions coming during the presentation, but I answered them during the presentation. But now, if you have a fresh question. No fresh questions. Let me see. Okay, I don't see any questions here. I just want to, yeah, I want to end now if there are no questions. And we still have a few presentations. There are still some pending questions that came in the email. Probably I'm answering it the next time. If you have other questions, you can send via email. And thank you very much for participating in this webinar. Namaskar. Good night.